welcome back to another episode of Unapologetic Truth on Aurora's Angels YouTube channel. My name is Brandy Lee Hills and thank you all so much for watching. Before we get into the video, I just want to say, if you do want to... I can't talk, I can never talk on camera. I just wanted to say, if you do fancy checking me out on any of my other social medias, I have linked my Instagram, my Twitter and my YouTube in the description box below, as well as Aurora's Angels official website and my 30% off discount code. So if you fancy treating yourself and getting yourself all glam and pretty, then take full advantage of my code because it is there to be used. Today's video on Unapologetic Truth, I am covering the facades on Instagram. So all of the things about Instagram influencers that not many people know but are actually happening behind these images. So you may look at an Instagram influencer and you may think they're rich, you may think they have loads of money, you may think they have the best social life ever, you may think that they don't have any problems in their life. Basically, an image can make you assume so much about someone else's life. I have personally had it myself since doing Instagram. Like, I have had so many people just assume, oh, you know, Brandy does this and Brandy's like this and whatever as a person, when really that's not the case. You can assume so much about someone's life just by a photo, but unless they're physically saying it, it's not a fact. But it's also the way that someone presents themselves, especially these massive influencers. So I thought, I'm gonna cover the facades of Instagram. Let's talk about the reality behind a lot of these influencers. Now, just as a disclaimer, I'm not saying every single big influencer is like this. I'm not saying every single big influencer is doing this. Of course, there are big influencers that do have money, they are rich, they take photos with their own things, stuff like that, 100%. I'm not putting people down that do what I'm going to talk about today either. I'm just simply discussing it as a topic. Okay, so the first one is, now we've all heard that Drake song where he says, you know, you're taking photos while you're on holiday just to put it on the gram, you're not even really in the moment type thing. Can't remember what the name of the song is, but we all know what that song is, right? This actually happens. We have Instagram influencers that fully go on broad to holiday. They go abroad on holiday and they take so many photos, and they're actually only gone for, let's say, a week, but when they get back they will still continue posting them photos as if they're still on holiday to make it seem that they've been on holiday for 3 weeks when they've only been on holiday for 1 week. When they are constantly making out they are on holiday, when really these are just snaps from when they've been to places previously, of course you would assume, oh my god, they go on holiday all the time, they have a lot of money, they have this amazing life, when really they've been on holiday once and they've just taken a hell of a lot of photos. You get these influencers that go on holiday and they go to certain villas and stuff like that, and they take photos but they make out they're in a completely different location. Some of them do purely make out they're in a different place just because of the image that it gives off of them. So you could be in Zante but they could be making out that they are, I don't know, in Dubai. Not saying that would be easy to do, but of course these influencers have a way with their images. Secondly is a really important thing that I want to cover, and it is fake rich influencers. These are influencers that you see and you would assume, can you not? I'm filming. These are influencers that you will look at their images and you assume they're rich, whether it's because they're stood next to a really nice car, whether it's because they've got designer handbags, or they could be rich, but they could be rich. It could be someone else's money, or the way that they're earning that money may not be the best way to earn money. I'm not saying that it's a bad thing to be an escort or a webcammer. Like, my opinion on that is just completely irrelevant right now. All I'm saying is we sometimes just assume that these people are making a lot of money off of Instagram, when actually the reality of it is there are some influencers, and I know this personally, there are some influencers, of course I'm not going to name names, I'm not going to throw shade on people like that, but I know there are influencers that are escorts, they are webcammers, they, you know, they take their clothes off for money, everything like that. So the money is coming from sugar daddies, it's coming from people that they're having sex with, stuff like that, and this is the reality behind it. So that designer handbag that they may be holding isn't necessarily because they've got money in their pocket from Instagram. Then you've got the next option, that they are actually rich, but people may be assuming that they're not, or I don't know, but they actually are rich, and or they've been brought up in a wealthy family. So okay, their parents may be rich, but maybe not them, but their parents are, so they're brought a lot of expensive and luxurious gifts. And of course you've got their partner that could be rich, or have money and buy them these luxurious expensive gifts, but we just assume that it's them that are rich because of Instagram, when really they might not be getting paid much for their Instagram photos at all. Then you've also got the ones that are in fake designer. Now this happens so many times. We assume that because they've got so many followers on Instagram that the designer stuff that they're wearing is real. It is not always the case. You can buy extremely good replicas to designer brands, like fake designer. You can get that anywhere nowadays. It is becoming so popular. A lot of the girls will literally just buy a bag that is fake but is a really good replica, just a stunt on the gram. That is the way that it is. If you look like you've got more money, people are more inclined to follow you. It's that lifestyle that they lead. It is the whole purpose of Instagram. Of course, not everyone likes it, but most of these big fashion and beauty influencers, if they're not rich genuinely from their Instagram, but they seem rich, a lot of them it's actually they're not, and a lot of it's fake designer. Or it is that they are, but then they're earning their money in ways that are happening behind closed doors that you don't know about. Then you've got the buying and returning. Now this doesn't happen so much with big influencers, but if they are influencers that are trying to make it in the industry, buying and returning after taking a photo in an item is extremely common. There are huge influencers that I again know personally that used to buy items of clothing from big brands, take photos in them, post them on Instagram, and then send the clothing back to get a full refund, because the truth behind it was they couldn't really afford to continuously buy so many outfits and so many clothes and keep them just to get photos in it, but they needed to get reposted to get big on Instagram. So many of them are buying outfits when they're trying to grow. They're getting loads of photos, they're getting reposted, and they're sending clothing back until they are big enough that they don't need to do that anymore, and they get stuff gifted to them for free. As we know, the influencer world around fashion and everything right now is crazy. There are so many people trying to be influencers now. It is not as exclusive as what it used to be, so the competition is a lot harder. So you could be spending God knows how much money and time trying to be a big influencer, but really it's just a matter of getting reposted and having the right content for people to follow you. So of course people aren't able to just spend God knows how much money on outfits that they take photos in and then just have them sit in their wardrobes. So most of the time these influencers are buying their stuff, taking images and sending them back. Then you've got the illusion that all of these have the most amazing social lives. Now, I know this personally. I've done this a lot of times myself on my Instagram account, and that is pretending to be going somewhere or pretending to be out. Now, you could see an influencer in the most amazing dress, all dressed up, all glammed up, makeup done, hair done, thinking, okay, it's evening. You can see it's nighttime in their photo. They're about to go out on a night out, but really they've got dressed up. They've taken that photo in that dress. They've taken the dress off, put their tracksuit on and chilled out on the sofa and watched telly. And you think they're going out and having this amazing social life when really they're not going anywhere. It's just the illusion that they're giving. Of course they need to look like they're busy, they need to look like they have good social lives, they need to look like they do stuff. You get the amount of times that you see girls and they get all dressed up and they post a photo and they're like, date night with my boyfriend, when really they're not even going anywhere. It is so common. It happens all the time. It happens even with daytime stuff. Oh, off out shopping today with my friends, when really they're not going anywhere. They've probably got to sit there and look after their kids. It happens a lot more than everyone thinks. Bundles of photos all at once. Again, I know this personally, have done this myself. A lot of the time, especially before I started trying to become an influencer on Instagram, can't talk properly, when I decided that I wanted to try and become an influencer on Instagram, I thought, oh my god, how am I going to get up, get dressed, do my makeup, do my hair and dress up every single day? Like, I can't do that. I've got 2 kids. Like, I don't have the time to do that. Then I started doing it and I started getting all the tips and I started realizing what these influencers do, and that is they set a day in the week, or they set 2 days, or they set 3 days, or whatever, and they get up, they do their hair and they do their makeup, and they take numerous images in different locations, in different outfits for different companies, and that is simply it. They do not look that amazing every single day. They don't wear makeup every single day. Some of them do, some of them don't, especially if you're a mother. Like, it is so hard to make sure that you're up, you've got your hair done, you've got your makeup done every single day. And what I do personally is I will set a day in the week and I will get all of my photos for that week. And then I make sure that I plan everything around the day that I get photos. So I've got that day each week where I can get photos, and that is to make sure that I always have something to post. And it may seem that I'm dressed up and looking like that every day. I always get messages from people saying, how do you always get dressed and do your makeup and your hair and look so nice when you've got 2 kids? Like, I've got 1 kid and I struggle to do my makeup. And I'm like, Hans, like, that is honestly, I don't look like this every single day. Like, today was a picture day, that's why I've got makeup on. Today's a filming day, that's why I've got makeup on. I do not look like this every single day, and believe me, I don't want to. I can't be bothered. Massively editing images. Okay, this one I probably didn't need to put in because it's pretty self-explanatory, but we know a lot of these big influencers hugely edit their images. Recently, Nikita Dragun and James Charles posted a video where they were competing on Facetune, basically who could Facetune the best, and we saw exactly how Nikita Dragun and James Charles edits their makeup and their bodies in their images, and it was just pure Instagram influencer lifestyle. A lot of these fashion influencers do edit their bodies a lot. It is all about perfection on Instagram, and that is the main reason why a lot of people feel really bad about themselves lately, is because they're comparing themselves to bodies that aren't even real. Or of course, a lot of the bodies do have surgery, and some influencers aren't open about the fact that they've had surgery, so you may think or assume that it is just their body when really they have had surgery. And then of course you have got these amazing influencers that are not massively over editing their photos, and they genuinely do have good bodies, but because of the Instagram society, it is surrounded with women and men in the industry that do edit their bodies. You just assume the ones that bodies are real are edited or surgery, because you just don't know what's fake anymore. Pretending to be gifted items by big brands. I remember someone being exposed, I can't remember who it was because it was such a long time ago, but I remember someone being exposed on Instagram because they pretended that they had been gifted stuff from a huge designer brand. I think it was like Gucci or something like that, and they pretended they'd been gifted it, and people didn't even clock on for ages until somebody saw that that exact item that they'd supposedly been gifted was in an image on their profile about a year before. So they realized that actually no, they were never gifted that, but they made out they'd been gifted it because it got them attention, and people were like, oh my god, you've been sponsored by Gucci, or you've collaborated with Gucci, like that's amazing, you're doing really well, and it made other brands want to work with her. Then there is the pretending that you love an item that you don't really like because you have to, and that is when you agree to collaborate with some companies. Not all companies do this, but some companies don't give you the option to choose what clothing you like. I personally don't like working with companies that do that. If I don't get to choose what items are gifted to me, then I don't really want to do the collaboration, because sometimes I've had in the past, I've been sent an item of clothing that I hated, that I would not wear. It was good quality, but it was not my style, and I had to put it on and make out that I loved it, and I hated it. It was so unauthentic. And a lot of the time, big influencers, they do this very regularly. They get sent stuff that they don't like because they just get sent it because it needs promoting, and they make out they love it, they make out they wear it all the time, and it's probably something they've literally shoved in the bin straight after that picture. Then the final thing is big influencers offering to collaborate with companies for free in exchange for gifted items, because the money just isn't there anymore. Now, some influencers are still earning so much money on Instagram. It is true, they still are. There is a lot of money in Instagram still, but big influencers that used to charge £1,000 to £2,000 a post are now finding that companies aren't paying them this, because these companies can collaborate with other influencers for much cheaper and still get the same result. Of course, you can't guarantee that you're going to be able to sell that much of someone's item or clothing or whatever it is that you're trying to promote. You can't guarantee that you can sell £2,000 worth of their stuff. So when they're charging £2,000 a post, the companies are starting to think, is it really worth it? The companies are clocking on quickly to what big influencers are charging, and now I have seen first-hand proof of big influencers with millions of followers offering to collaborate with a company without being paid. All they want in return is the free items gifted to them, the clothing items gifted to them, and it just goes to show how desperate some of them can be to get work. And I don't mean desperate in a bad way, I just mean that obviously it gets hard on Instagram. You're competing constantly with so many other influencers, and that is the way it is. And these are huge Instagram influencers that have millions of followers, and they are offering their services just in return for gifted items, because the money just isn't there like it used to now that there are so many other competitors in the industry. So that was the facade behind Instagram. I really thought that this would be a good video to do. I thought it'd make you all realise just how much a lot of this stuff is fake, and it is all just an image on Instagram, and it's all just an illusion. You can really think someone's about to go out in their full designer outfit and they're going out for a date night when really they're not. They've scheduled to take their photos, they've taken 6 other photos before that one, they're not going anywhere. Their designer handbag may be fake, they may have brought it because they actually secretly do escorting or webcamming, and there's just something you don't know about it. I personally know influencers that are also porn stars that no one knows about, but they are porn stars behind it. That's how they get a lot of their money. A lot of their money doesn't always come through Instagram and paid collaborations. Of course, some of it does. Some influencers are completely authentic and completely genuine, but you do get the other influencers that are big and you think, okay. And you'd be surprised at how many big influencers have brought at least half of their followers. A lot of people don't realise that, but there is a website that you can use to check how authentic people's followers are. And if you search some big names, it basically does a whole analysis report on their profile, and it comes back and tells you that 50% of their followers are actually fake, or 60% of their followers are fake. So a lot of them have just added them numbers on. Of course, ghost followers are considered as fake followers, so if they're ghost followers, then they will be classed as fake, or they aren't active. So not all of them are fake, but they can have some fake followers as well. So stop putting pressure on yourself, guys. That's basically just what I want to say. It is not easy to live that Instagram lifestyle. It really isn't, because that Instagram lifestyle, I can't talk, guys. That Instagram lifestyle, more often than not, is not real. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. I really hope you loved it. I really enjoyed doing it. I cannot wait to do my next video. I'm actually filming 2 videos for Unapologetic Truth today, so that is really exciting. I'm gonna go grab myself a cup of tea and then I'm gonna get filming again. And yeah, like I said before, if you want to check me out on any of my other social medias, I've linked everything in the description box below, as well as Aurora's Angels website and my discount code, which will give you a massive 30% off. Make sure to like, comment and smash that subscribe button today, and hit the bell button, because that will make sure that you've got your post notifications turned on so you don't miss any of the Unapologetic Truth series uploads. Slow down, Brandy. Anyway, guys, love talking to you, and I'll see you all soon. Bye.